All right, everybody, I'm going to be in shift, shocker. We're going to start on page 135, and then we're going to quickly go to pages 49 and 50. Best thing for you to do is just take notes versus trying to follow along because it's going to be hard to do. So make sure this book is by your side. It's going to be by your side for the next 12 months, probably longer. And pages 135 and then pages 49, 50, and 51. Now, before I do that, I just want to share some data with you on numbers for Coral Springs Parkland. Be a local economist of choice. Be a strategic pricing professional. Well, the way you do that is by knowing your numbers. And it's my job as your leader to know the numbers in the market where we work. So I daily am looking at Coral Springs Parkland. How are we doing? And especially when we get towards the end of the month like we are now, I definitely want to take a look at that. So year to date, for the month of July 2022, there have been 197 units closed in Coral Springs Parkland. Good or bad, doesn't matter. It's just a number. Now, same time last year, there were 393 units closed. That means we're down by 49.8%. That's a big decrease, okay? Am I sharing this with you to create emotion? No, it's just data. Please, please, please remember that there is still and always will be plenty of business being done for you to go get your unfair share. It doesn't matter if sales are down, doesn't matter if there's more competition. There's plenty of business out there for you to get your unfair share. Now, here's something you can use to your advantage when talking to your customers. Even though sales are down 49.8% year over year for the month of July, how are we doing? How is Keller Williams Coral Springs doing, right? We're number one in market share again, that's 7 months in a row. And with more than 50 offices in this report, our market share is 9.2%. Coldwell Banker came in second at 8.6%. Remax Advisors at 5.5% came in third. Remax Direct, which was Remax Park Creek, is at 4.1%, and Compass is at 2.7%. A couple of your 100% companies out there, I shouldn't say a couple of the 100% companies out there that are calling you guys daily, hey, you should come here, keep more money. How are they doing? It's just data. Am I hitting below the belt? No, I'm not. I'm just sharing data with you. It is what it is. Cold in here, Juanita? A little bit chilly. Yeah. All right. So Realty 100, 1.5 units closed in the month of July. 1.5. 1.5 homes closed in the month of July. Location with over 1,000 real estate agents, 6 homes closed in the month of July. And United, 3 homes closed in the month of July. And Keller Williams Coral Springs, you're number one in market share at 9.2%. Congratulations. Listings taken. Before I do that, let's talk about pendings. Pendings for 2022, 230. These are new properties under contract, okay? Pendings a year ago for the month of July, same time period, okay? So it wasn't the entire month. It was through whatever today is, 370. That means pending sales are down 37.8%. If pending sales are down 37.8%, how is that going to impact closings for the month of August? They're going to be down, aren't they? Yeah. Now, new listings, July 2022 versus July 2021. Listings are down year over year by 1%. In other words, they're pretty steady. So here's the question. If listings are down by just 1% and sales are down by 49.8%, how is that impacting the market? Is active inventory increasing? Say yes. And as active inventory increases, buyers have more homes to choose from. You have more sellers competing for fewer buyers, it's called a shift, and you will see prices start to drop. All right. Now, I know that not everybody agrees with me on that, but write it down, write it down, write it down. I promise you I will be right. All right, Gary Keller on page 150, whatever that was, 152, I forget, 155. It was
155 or 135?
It was the 151. Anyways, top of the page, the ability to learn faster than your competitors may be the only competitive advantage. So you're here to learn. Knowledge is power. The ability to learn faster than your competitors may be the only competitive advantage. Learning this information about the market, becoming a local economist of choice, becoming a strategic pricing professional will be your competitive advantage. Now, the moment the media declares a real estate shift, it's as if the market just got doused in a cold shower. The result is fearful buyers, pickier buyers, and eventually fewer buyers. We're living that, right? I shared with you the other day, just Google alert market updates, and you will get emails daily on what's happening in the market. The media is talking about this. So the moment the media declares, well, that moment is past. What happens when the media declares we're in a shift? Buyers become fearful, they become pickier, and eventually we have fewer buyers. Okay, it's just a fact. It is what it is, not good or bad. We're learning. The ability to learn faster than your competitors may be the only competitive advantage. All right, fewer leads. This is page 49. Fewer leads, fewer showings, and increased days on market. The minute these signs show up, take notice. Underline that. Pay attention. Don't ignore them and don't wait to act. What does it mean to act? It's a good question. Gary says, don't wait to act. Well, what does he mean by that? I'm going to share a couple ideas with you before we finish. These are the early warning signs of what is most likely coming next, which is more inventory and fewer pendings. Okay, so you can get in your time machine and go back 2 or 3 months because that time is past. Gary says, here's what's coming next. More inventory, fewer pendings. More inventory, fewer pendings. Sales are down 49.8% in July versus July 2021. Pendings are down by 37.8%. So that time period is past. All right. Gary goes on to say, but just because the market has moved from more to less doesn't mean you have to. All right, here comes the encouraging part. All right. Please pay attention because I want you to leave this call today feeling empowered to go get your unfair share. I want you to understand that just because there are fewer sales being done, that doesn't mean you're going to have fewer sales. You know, if all ships truly rise and fall based on tides, and sales are down year to date by 25%, well, then everybody would have sales decreased by 25%. The reality is we know that's not true. And this is a skill-based market. This market creates an opportunity for agents who have developed the skills to succeed in the market. Let me say it another way. This market creates an opportunity for agents who learn the fastest because that becomes their competitive advantage. Sales on our market are down 25% year to date, and there are more agents competing for fewer sales. Does this mean your sales are going to drop by 25% or more? And you know the answer is it depends. Just because the market has moved from more to less doesn't necessarily mean you have to. As leads become fewer, you must recognize the situation and make a more concerted effort to generate them. So here's the action. I shared with you earlier that Gary said, you must take notice and get into action. Here it is. Find the motivated. Your job every day is to find the motivated. The challenge of a shift is simply motivation. And what happens in a shift is there's fewer people who are motivated to sell, and there's fewer people who are motivated to buy. In a seller's market, people will buy because they're moving, because the family changed, somebody was born, unfortunately, somebody passed away, somebody got married. These are reasons why people sell. In a seller's market, people also sell to take advantage of the market, to cash out on equity, and to buy in a rising market. If I simply did a quick pencil drawing for you, and we're all going to get in our DeLorean and go back in time to 2012. And we drew the market until 2022. Well, that means every year between 2012 and 2022, anybody who bought a home during that time period, how's the value of their home today compared to when they bought the home? Huge increase, correct? Yeah, so when the market is doing really, really well, people will sell because the market is hot and because it's a great time for them to cash out on the equity. And it's a great time to, everybody wants to invest in real estate because, oh my gosh, values are going up. I want to be a part of this. Now, you also have people when the market is hot who are moving because they have to move. When the market shifts, motivation changes. We no longer have that group who's buying and selling because the market is hot. They've pulled back. What we have left is the people who have to sell, the people who have to buy. Now, your job every day is to go out and find them. And if I told you right now, guys, if it was possible to just drive around Coral Springs and Parkland, there was a sign out front that said, I'm interested in selling my house. I'm interested in buying a house. I mean, that would make it really easy. You would just go up and knock on that door. And I'm telling you that, let's just say it's 5%. Let's say it's 5% of the homes in any particular neighborhood are thinking of selling their home, thinking of buying a home. That means if you have a neighborhood with 200 homes, there's 10 homes in that neighborhood that are going to be putting their home on the market. And 200 is not a big number. There's neighborhoods with 1,000 homes. And all you have to do is go out and knock on every single door and talk to every single homeowner. If you talk to all 200 of them, you have 10 opportunities to go get a listing. And because, I'm going to go back to how I started, because you're learning faster than your competitors. In other words, you're learning about this market that we're in faster than your competitors because you're a local economist of choice, because you're a strategic pricing professional. You're going to be able to have intelligent conversations with those individuals in order to be able to earn the opportunity to list their home. Why should I hire you? That's a very different question in today's market than it was a year ago. Advantage you. That's why you should be excited about this information that I'm sharing with you, not discouraged. Please don't get discouraged. Okay. You can't sit back. You must be more rigorous and resolute in your lead generation than ever before, and more so than anyone else. In other words, this is a competition. Okay. This is fewer sales with more agents competing for those sales. You have more competition. That's why you must be more rigorous and resolute than ever before, and more so than anyone else. It's a competition. In fact, now is the time to shift your lead generation into the highest gear possible. So question, what's the number one challenge of a shift? Oh my gosh, I already gave you guys the answer. Who was listening? What's the number one challenge of a shift?
Motivation.
Yes, it's finding the motivated. Write it down, write it down, write it down. It's finding the motivated. The number of sellable leads has decreased dramatically, and the reason is what?
Motivation.
Motivation. It's almost as if, it's almost as if the buyers and sellers of the past market has borrowed against the buyers and sellers of this market. It's almost as if the people who bought and sold 6 months ago, a year ago, would have bought and sold today, but they bought and sold 6 months ago, a year ago, in order to take advantage of that market. In other words, we were borrowing buyers and sellers, which means there's fewer of them now. This is when the true competitive nature of our business reveals itself, and you realize it's time to stop trying to get your unfair share of the market and do all you can to get your fair share. Let me rephrase that. It's time to stop thinking about getting your fair share of the market and do all you can to get your unfair share. It's you invite 10 friends over for pizza. You order 2 large pizzas, 20 slices, everybody gets 2. And the pizza man messes up the order and only delivers 1 pizza. And there's 10 slices and there's 10 of you. If I'm at that party, I'm still getting 2. You guys can figure out the rest because I'm going to get my unfair share. It's that simple. Here's the action I want you to take away from this. You know, when we tell you to double down on your lead generation, that's fine if you were spending 2 hours a day in lead generation. That's fine if you were having 15 to 20 real estate conversations a day. And we know that that's not true for the majority, unfortunately. 80-20 rule. 20% probably were. If you're in that 20%, then cool. If you were in that 80%, please pay really close attention. When you hear double down on the lead generation, that doesn't work if you were lead generating a half hour to an hour on average per day and talking to 3 to 5 people per day on average, because if you double that, you're still not going to get the results you need. So when you hear double down on lead generation, here's what I want you to hear. 3 to 4 hours of lead generation a day and 30 to 40 real estate conversations a day. Please write it down. 3 to 4 hours of lead generation a day and 30 to 40 real estate conversations a day. Focused on finding what? Focused on finding what? Motivated. That's it. It's just that simple. It's like Vicky going out and knocking on doors until someone invited her over to have a listing conversation, and now she's going to list their home. What if she didn't knock on that door? What if she didn't have that conversation? What if she stopped one house prior to that house? Listen, I want you to be so obsessed by this, and I meant that word exactly the way I said it. I want you to be so obsessed by this that when you've made your last call and you're thinking, that's it, I'm done making calls today. I want you to hear me inside your head saying, make one more call, make one more call. I want you, when you go out knocking on doors and you're done for the day and you're like, this is the last house, I want you to hear me inside your head saying, knock on one more door, knock on one more door. All you could do is all you could do, and all you could do is enough when you do all you could do. I'm going to say that again. All you could do is all you could do, and all you could do is enough when you do all you could do. I'm going to say one more thing and then we're going to go to Vicky. The challenge with most people is their strategy is I'm doing the best I can. So what's your strategy in order to hit your goals? Well, I'm just going to do the best I can. Here's the problem with that. How do you measure it? How do you measure the best I can? Describe it. What does it look like? And then go do it. All right, Vicky, talk to us.
So it's your 20%